Hi guys, Sullivan here in Philadelphia. I have taken about a week or so off for the holidays, and it is right before New Year's, so I thought that I would, I'm kind of messing around with clay flowers after having taken like an amazing sugar flower workshop. So I'm gonna work on some practice pieces and kind of add some color, which I thought we could do while I just kind of talk about what you can expect to see on my channel going into 2020. If you don't follow me on Instagram, at the beginning of December, I took a sugar flower Dutch Masters workshop with Maggie Austin, who is an incredible sugar flower and cake artist in the Virginia, DC area. And I had taken a class with her a few years ago and learned to make roses. And the Dutch Masters workshop happened to coincide with my birthday, so in December. So I decided to book it. I think I booked it over the summer. And it ended up being like the greatest thing that I could do for myself in terms of like taking some time out of my YouTube schedule, which was pretty aggressive for the fall, and I had a bunch of weddings in the fall, and we have family stuff going on and house stuff going on and just, you know, life. And I had set this very aggressive YouTube schedule for myself. So the workshop was kind of like an opportunity. I did still work on videos while I was traveling, but the workshop was an opportunity to just kind of like get out of my own space and get into somebody else's process. And it's really why I have always enjoyed taking classes and workshops in different mediums than I work in. I still do take flower classes occasionally, but I've taken most of the classes that I want to with a lot of the teachers around the world. So doing something like the sugar flowers has been, I mean, I guess it's no secret if you know me, I really run with hobbies. I am not kidding. I call them hobby monsters when they start, because when I kind of like get into something and like connect with it, I sort of just run with it and go bananas. And so felting became this thing that I was doing in the winter months, and I think I may have burned myself out on felting for a little while. If you haven't seen it, I made my cats like a full wool felt Thanksgiving dinner, and I worked so hard on those pieces that I kind of needed a break. So the sugar flowers came at like a great time. Like I had finished the Thanksgiving dinner, I had made the video, and I went to this sugar flower workshop. And I will show you guys the flowers in more detail, and that kind of leads me to where I'm at with just kind of figuring stuff out with this channel. So I'm just gonna kind of I have a bunch of different pieces that I made, mostly just kind of practicing, and I'm working with petal dust, which is the same petal dust that you use for cake sugar flowers, and I got some vodka so I could make them a little more like paint. I'm using all air dry clay, so I don't want to mix them with water, and I don't want to mix them with any kind of paint or varnish. So the vodka is an experiment, but hopefully I don't mistake it for my water bottle. And also, hopefully it won't do any damage. But at this point, I'm sort of taking the different floral elements that I've learned in my classes with Maggie, and I highly recommend her book for just like inspiration. Obviously, I know a lot about flowers and what they look like. So I sort of started branching into varieties that I like, and I love foliage. So I did start by making a bunch of different leaves. And then just last night, I have experimented over the years with making flowers out of all kinds of materials, and had bought these glass beads to do the pollen, the stamens and pollen for flowers. And I found fabric just too hard to manipulate, to sculpt. Or maybe I just kind of didn't have the time for that. So, but my longtime employee and now freelancer extraordinaire came over and was organizing a bunch of my supplies, and she found my fabric flower stash, and I had all these beads. So I also made, this will be a poppy, an oriental poppy center. So I did that with the yellow glass beads and some air dry clay. Here is, these are leaves, white clay leaves that I dusted to look like a Rex begonia. I'm just kind of having fun. It's like really hard to start this video because I feel like I have to explain so much backstory. Just about 2 years ago, my lease was ending at my studio in Fishtown, and I made the decision to move home. And that was not an easy decision for me at all whatsoever. I just kind of came home, had a January wedding, and then had this like crazy monster spring. And so I just sort of was running, never really had time to kind of make a plan for 2018. Went into the spring of 2019 with this sort of attitude of like, I was going to try a whole bunch of different things and just like kind of throw it out there, like throwing noodles on a wall to see if they stick, which I'm not actually sure anyone does that test, but you know what I mean. I was just kind of like, let me try this. Let me try this. Let me try only doing delivery orders around the holidays. Okay, I didn't really enjoy that. Let me see if I can do only 6 weddings a year. Okay, cool. I can do only 6 weddings a year. What happens when they all happen within 5 weeks or 6 weeks of each other? What does that look like? And so the idea, you know, I just sort of tried different stuff. I did so many firsts this year, and just sort of finally got good at saying no. No when things didn't feel right. No when I needed the time to myself. No when I knew that it wasn't a job that they needed me specifically for. It was a job that anyone could do. This was my real year of experimentation. I had been taking film classes and learning about how to use cameras and how to edit and things like that. I had been doing that in the background for a long time. By the way, this is like such an ugly leaf so far, and I don't love that how the petal dust paint looks as it's drying on the clay. But this kind of grayish clay does not take the pigment dust very well. So what does this all mean for what my posting is gonna look like? Well, I wanna make the videos that I went to film classes to learn to make. But I kind of got caught up in what I thought YouTube wanted and didn't really stay true to the work that I want to make. And honestly, it's just too much work to be putting out work that I'm not super wild about. And that's not like a cooking show or a how-to show or a watch me work show. I really want to tell stories about the floral industry and floral trade and the history of certain holidays and how flowers are significant, and get to show you guys more of the people that grow the flowers that you see people like me work with. And I think in the fall, I didn't feel like I could do that. So the best thing that making those 31, 32 videos is that the other things I did, like 2019 was so much experimentation for me and it was such a wild and long year that I almost feel like I forgot, like, I hired a crew and went and shot like a short documentary at a local grower. I had learned how to direct that crew and edit that footage and make projects that I'm really, really passionate about. And I've sort of been holding that stuff back because I think that it can serve a bigger purpose than just marketing, if I'm treating YouTube like social media or marketing for my own brand. So I have to find the way to kind of blend those two things together. And that's really what my goal is in 2020, is to maybe make fewer videos, but focus on the quality of them. So I think we can look forward to a different sort of video. I think that that's because I wasn't really following my own advice, which was do things because you think you bring something different to them. Don't just go out and do the same thing. And really quickly, I fell into that with YouTube. I maybe read too many books. I listened to too many people. I watched too many videos. I thought that I was supposed to make these like how-to guides, but it doesn't resonate with me. I can show you how I do stuff. You can watch me make things, but that's not the content that I set out to create. And I think that's okay to kind of try something else. I've always been somebody that's incredibly curious about almost everything, and don't do anything small, like I want to learn everything I can about the different aspects of things and craft and people. I'm really very interested in the people. And I want to use my channel to share more of that. I just think that there are elements of the floral trade that are completely left out of the picture. And I think it would be really cool to share that with you guys. So I hope that you're excited to see how some of that stuff goes. I hope you'll bear with me as I start to figure out what's achievable, because I'm kind of talking about making short documentaries about a variety of different things and fitting that into my life rather than me fitting a life into a documentary production schedule is sort of the way I have to approach this, because I do still have a life and family and clients and jobs and weddings to plan and design and things like that. So I can't say for sure that I 100% have a goal for what I would like my schedule to be. I really appreciate you guys that have watched the first series of videos, and I really look forward to trying to bring some of the ideas that are up in my head onto the channel for you and kind of see where that takes me, because I found that one project kind of helps me get into the next. So 2019 was really about me trying all kinds of stuff to see what worked. 2020 is now kind of like the time that I'm going to take all of the things that I've been learning for the last 3 years in terms of video and editing and filming and craft and the people that I've met and all the different things that I've tried, and put that together into a series of videos that really I'm able to tell you the story that I started the channel to tell. And I kind of let a lot of outside influence get in the way of that. I hope everyone's seen it. If they haven't, watch the TED Talk. What's your why? That was sort of, I have had this experience many times where I just wake up one day and realize that what's going on is that I strayed too far away from why I'm doing anything. And that's sort of how I think I got by the end of my 3-month content calendar that I had created in the fall. So I'm going back to my why. And hopefully the series of videos that I have planned and have actually already started researching and working on will show you guys why I'm here and why I'm doing this. And yeah. And if you like these kind of like catch up, more vlog or craft time hangouts, maybe that will be my way to post more regularly, because I do try to spend a few hours doing something like this once a week. So I hope everybody is not getting too stressed out trying to plan their 2020 goals. I hope everyone gets to enjoy some time with their family over the holidays. And I look forward to seeing what everybody gets up to on their own channels and in their own work in the new year. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you in 2020, and Happy New Year.